luck or tragic. Nobody knows, nobody knows. We're all fragile. You can call it magic. You can call it luck or tragic. Nobody knows, nobody knows. Ooh. Okay. That was fun. I like that.
Yeah, that's from one of the songs we're working on right now. It's Fragile.
Yep, called Fragile.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we've been looking up that word so many times. I'm like, do you say fragile? Do you say fragile? It's kind of like, do you say Lebanon? Do you say Lebanon? And nobody really knows. Like, it depends who you ask. Like, we're here in Tennessee, so it seems like a lot of people say Lebanon.
Yeah.
But then we went to Nashville, and when we told someone that we were from near Lebanon, they were like, Lebanon? Oh, Lebanon. And I'm like, okay, now I'm really, really confused. So, anyway, fragile. Thank you, Sting, for your song. Because that's how we knew fragile it will work. Yeah.
So what do we have today?
We have some questions that some of our friends asked us, and I thought it would be a good idea to answer them. Who are the artists that had the most impact on you? And that's a tricky one.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like, it changed so many times. I feel like the artists that influenced me when I was growing up, when I was a teenager and maybe in my early 20s, were way different than the artists that influenced me today.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think the major reason is when I was growing up and I was like, I want to be a singer, and I was using my vocals a lot. The artists that I like to listen to are like big vocalists, like that was their main instrument.
Late 90s, early 2000s, that's what it was.
Yeah, so like really huge, beautiful voices were my favorite thing. And then later on, as I was trying to kind of like find myself in the music business, trying to figure out who I was, suddenly other artists made more impact on me, and these were artists that actually, maybe they didn't have that big voice, but they stood for something. They had something to say.
They had a story.
They had a story, and most of all, when they were on stage, and it can be like also singer-songwriters that I don't even know, but people that influence me are mainly musicians that are on stage, and they are so engaged with the audience, and they acknowledge everyone that is in front of them, from children to grown-ups to older people, and even like dogs in the crowd, and their main goal is just for people in front of them to have fun. And they have a story, and they want to, in a positive way, they want to impact people's life. And suddenly, these artists became my favorite. Also, like guitar players. When I was younger, I felt like the guitar players that improvise a lot and, put a lot of notes in their solos were my favorite. And then now, it doesn't have to be like that. I feel like I'm looking for that emotion, for that. It can be slower. It can be like only 4 notes, but they mean something. They carry so much emotion, and they use that tool as a vessel. So I feel like no matter what instrument you're using, whether if it's your vocals, your guitar, keyboard, it has to have emotion and a story behind it. So
I just heard a really good guitar player saying it's not the notes you play, it's the notes you don't play, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but but he's a really good guitar player. He's from the UK, but and I think it resonated with me for a while because I was trying to think about it because I was trying to put so many notes in a very short phrase,
right.
And I think that kind of he had an impact by me starting reflecting and thinking about like maybe you should cut a few notes and just really try to stick to the notes that actually matter and that actually had to do something with the song instead of just, getting all those notes, which you can. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying I feel like those things are very much what I would like to listen to these days, and there are really good guitar players these days that would be like,
right.
That's
it changes a lot. I think, like probably for a lot of musicians, but
I think for a lot of people.
For a lot of people too.
You growing up, the things that used to be, you used to think that were interesting or
right.
like groundbreaking, and nowadays it's just, it was an era, and now it's over.
Exactly, and I think the word authentic is probably the best way to describe what we
try to do.
What I feel inspired by, probably you too, but like people that are really authentic, they're really connected to who they are. So musicians like that, and really the genre does not matter at all.
No.
Like the other day we saw a reggae artist, and can't remember the last time I was on a reggae show.
But he was amazing. He was
just so full of life, so much personality, and so authentic, and everybody just had a great time. And then on the other hand, I think sometimes you meet singer-songwriters that all they have is just 4 chords and a story, and these people will inspire me just the same way. But I think the main thing is they're authentic, but it's not all about them. They want to do something more than just, show off those skills. They want to, at the end of the show, they want people to come to them and say, okay, this is my story, and this is how it inspired me, and where I took the song or the music that you created too. So,
I would totally agree with that.
Yeah. A long answer to a very short question, but it goes deeper than just, naming artists, because
for sure.
It changes all the time. I really try to stay away from naming any artist just because it changed so many times for me, and I think they're all great. It just depends on where you're at in life.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Totally agree with that.
Next question that we got is, when did you start playing guitar? Well, that's
later in life.
So much later in life. So we can probably split that question, because you started in a different time, and then so a lot of people might think that David started only once we got together, but that is not true. That is not true. I started. It's really hard to say playing guitar, because I feel like I'm accompanying myself with the guitar. It's not my main instrument. My vocals obviously are what I wanted to do all my life. I wanted to sing, I wanted to use my voice as an instrument, but then I felt like something was missing, and I wasn't able to express myself the way that I wanted just by using my voice. And a lot of times I had to rely on a lot of different musicians. And it was hard, because I guess you can't trust anyone but yourself. And so I was like, okay, I need to pick up a guitar and see what I can do to help me in the process of writing music. And so I picked up the guitar, I think, when I was maybe in my 20s, early 20s, after...
Now you're in your early 30s, yeah.
Hey, don't tell everyone how old I am.
It's been a while.
So early 20s, full disclosure, I didn't commit to it as like people that really love playing guitar, they would commit to it and play 4 or 5 hours every day and maybe more. For me, it was just something that kind of like I learned along the way. I picked up the guitar, learned a few chords, a few strumming patterns, some arpeggio, and started just kind of like trying to figure out my way with the guitar. And it became a part of me recently.
But it's still a journey.
But it's still a journey, yeah,
Never
totally.
ends.
And then David, you want to tell your story? And then you started picking up the guitar.
Full disclosure. So I think I was writing songs since I can remember myself, and I always smell like
You're
popping.
popping.
Yeah.
Everyone from CrossFit know what we
yeah.
were talking about. Yeah,
Mhm.
David was popping all the time when he was training.
That's an old injury. But anyhow, so I always been writing songs, and those songs were obviously never went anywhere. I didn't do anything with those songs. I could not sing to save my life. I maybe can hit a note every once in a blue moon, but that's about it. I think early 30s, I would say early 30s. Right, we knew each other at the time, but we were not dating at the time. We were on and off, but long story.
That's for another episode.
Another episode. But I think I picked up. It was a weird journey. I'll try to make it as short as I can, but basically, I remember myself listening to some blues artists and listening. I'll name drop you. Like B.B. King, and then I would listen to somebody like John Mayer playing a Strat. So I got fascinated with that, which is like he does more pop, but he has like those blues influences in there. So I was torn between the two. Then I think the big change came when we started listening to a lot of country music.
Yes.
So it was a lot of dreadnought guitar and acoustic guitars, and I thought that I should start with an acoustic guitar. I picked up an acoustic guitar. I remember that day I came back from work, got a brand new guitar. I watched, I think, a YouTube video or something, and I learned 2 chords. It was G, like that, and C at 9. And I remember myself standing in what at the time was a little trailer, and rocking to those 2 chords. I wrote a whole song, which obviously this song didn't go anywhere, but to G and C at 9, just basically 2 chords, and I was having the blast of my life, and I felt like I was flying, I was floating on air. But that was a long time ago. But I started doing that, and I think picked up a few more chords. I had some, went to a teacher and learned a few things, but I would say most of it was I learned on my own, which I guess it shows in a way. Big shout out to RJ Soldani from Topeka, Kansas. He is still one of my biggest influences. He's a guitar teacher in Topeka, Kansas, and he still, through this day, I'll give him a call, I'll send him a video like, hey man, I got an idea for a song. Can I send it to you? What do you think? Hey, did anything I should change? Anything I can spice it up a little bit?
And this guy is like phenomenal on the guitar.
Oh my gosh.
And he'll come with these raw ideas.
Yeah.
You'll be like, hey,
yeah.
What do you think?
I got 4 chords here, buddy. What do you think? Is that gonna be a hit? But yeah, it's been a really big journey. I think for both of us, and I think I think it relates to the first question. I think that's what we try to achieve these days.
Yeah.
Will be we're not phenomenal with the guitar playing. It's not about being that. I think it's about being authentic. It's about bringing those stories in those songs, and hope that people that will hear it and listen to it will feel something. It will remind them something.
Right.
It will do something. And I think that I would say these days that's my personal main goal when I'm writing a song, when I'm picking up a guitar. If there is a song, I want people to hear it, and I want to see this interaction. I want to see how it affects them, and it's not an easy task to do, but that's what we're working on, and that's why we're here, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just trying to be authentic and trying to remember that, just staying true to ourselves.
Yeah.
For me, in music, it also meant the guitar did wonders as far as like taking a step back with pushing too much with my vocals and trying to find out that balance. The guitar didn't leave me really any choice because I had this battle between trying to play the guitar but then trying to sing with it, and then you can't push too much because then you forget the chords and I think that was a really, really good thing for me because then I discovered a new way to use my voice, and instead of trying, and full disclosure, when I was younger, I was trying to impress a lot with my voice, and until I met David, and he's like, it's great that you have this beautiful toolbox, but you don't have to use all the tools all the time. And so I took a step back and I was like, okay, let's see how can I use this voice more, instead of trying to impress people, because that's not interesting anymore. How can I use this voice as a vessel to tell a story? And that's when I started singing a little bit more softly. You can probably find videos that I'm not there yet, but it's definitely a journey, and we
are working hard. We are trying to do our best right now.
And we do want to be honest about this whole process, and that's why we're doing these vlogs, just so people that are joining us on this journey know us, the real us, and what we're doing, and this whole work behind it. We're both working full-time jobs, but this is what we have a baby, we have 2 dogs, but it is really something that inspires us. So it will be great to have you guys on this journey, and we'll keep updating and showing you guys our progress and even the flaws in this progress, and the true stories behind it, and we hope that you would like it.
Feel free to engage. Feel free to send us texts.
We take it seriously.
Yeah,
for sure.
we do. We totally do. It matters.
It matters. Perfect. Well, hope you're having a lovely day. Make sure to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, LinkedIn. We do have a Linktree link that has everything on it, and there's also a music video out there that is called It's Gonna Be Alright.
And we are working on basically getting a band. Getting a few people with us so we can
a band, a new music video. We have a lot of things that we're working on, so just stay tuned, and that's it. Bing, bing. Bye guys.
But at least I've got my honey. I got my honey. So I guess I'm still alright.